The Mandalorian-focused story continues in this week's book of Boba Fett, which also ended up being probably the biggest episode of live-action Star Wars television to date. After a quick cowboy western-steeped scene with everybody's favourite sand daddy Cobb Vanth killing a bunch of spice runners, the Mandalorian fulfills his promise from the end of the last episode and tracks down Grogu to a forest world where he meets R2-D2, told by the astromech droid to wait at the Jedi Academy currently under construction, as Grogu is currently off training with Luke Skywalker, who is imparting every bit of knowledge he gained from Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda into the little guy, as well as trying to help him unlock his past memories of the Great Jedi Purge. Luke isn't the only Jedi there, as Ahsoka Tano has also joined the still under construction Academy, for the moment at least, meeting with Mando and giving him some much needed guidance as well, and making him question if he needs to see Grogu or if he wants to. Deciding to leave the child to his training and to be a Jedi, Mando heads back to Tatooine, meeting with Boba Fett and his gathered warriors and learning they still don't have enough to deal with the Pykes, meaning they need to recruit more people. Luckily, Mando knows a guy, paying Cobb Vanth a visit, finding him continuing his martial role in Mos Pelgo, which the people have renamed Freetown. Cobb is reluctant to get involved in other people's business, let alone spice trading business, staying out of it, but Mando convinces him. That is, until he is paid a visit by the Pykes enforcer, none other than Cad motherfucking Bane, who proves to be the quicker draw in their gunfight. The Pykes continue making their big moves across Tatooine, blowing up Sanctuary and Garsaf Whip in Mos Espa and beginning their war against Fett and his rule. Grogu meanwhile is left with a tough choice in his life. He can continue to cling on to attachments like the Mandalorian and accept the gift Din Djarin has left him, which we learn is a little chainmail Beskar shirt, or he can continue to become a Jedi and accept Master Yoda's lightsaber from Luke. Much like the last episode, we get what is essentially part 2 of the Mandalorian Season 3 premiere, and I personally don't have a problem with that, especially since between everything we got with Din and Grogu's plot, we got a sizable movement on Boba Fett's war with the Pykes. Now, what I didn't expect this episode to be was mostly Grogu's training, let alone feature Luke Skywalker as a fully fledged acting character, not just someone who stands there because they don't really have the deepfake technology right, so he can't move a lot. The deepfake technology has come so far since we last saw him at the end of Season 2 of The Mandalorian, and holy shit, it looks fantastic here. Of course, it's not 100% perfect and probably never will be, but my god, what they're able to do with the character here now is incredible. He's just leaping around everywhere, doing lightsaber moves everywhere, it's just fantastic. Because of this, Luke literally takes up the Yoda role here, carrying Grogu on his back as they flip around and train in the Jedi ways. Luke imparting everything he learned was really quite fantastic, and you can tell he's still young and still learning himself, so Luke is trying to remake the Jedi Order as it was before the fall in the prequel era, especially by the end of the episode where he wants Grogu to make a choice, either continue with his attachments or become a Jedi. That's a very sort of black and white outlook that those type of Jedi in the prequel era had. It's also echoed in Ahsoka's words to him, with him still having much to learn, and maybe the student can teach the teacher, as well as Ahsoka mentioning that he is very much like his father, which was just so good to hear and see on screen in live action. These two characters who have had so much history with Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker getting to meet for what really is the first time, since we haven't seen their first time meeting yet, so seeing this on screen was just incredible. It was even better since it also mirrors Mando's story over the last 2 episodes, with him being alone now and having to find a family and build a family of his own now, just like Luke is building the Jedi up and Grogu is finding his own family in the Jedi. Cobb Vanth makes his return this episode as well, and Timothy Olyphant again just continues to play Raylan Givens in space, and it's awesome. It's fantastic. I love everything about this character. I did not expect his storyline to become intertwined with Cad Bane, who we see here for the first time in live action and looks fantastic, and he has one hell of a badass, really western lone gunslinger entrance, and it tells you everything you need to know about the character right away if you weren't familiar with him. I'm really looking forward to Fett getting to face off with him, especially since in the little time he had on the screen you can see he still holds resentment for Fett, so I'm very much much looking forward to that confrontation. The Book of Boba Fett Episode 6 was probably the biggest thing to happen in live action Star Wars since Episode 7 was announced in 2012, balancing out so many characters, surprises, and storylines really well, all while continuing to explore the concept of families and who we choose to be as a person and who we choose to have as our family. I'm going to give this episode a 10 out of 10.